Get all of this on camera, which is even worse because, well, I mean, fuck. My camera is not the strongest. This stupid new phone case. Like, seriously, who designs a phone case like this? I can't even fit it into my fucking camera stand. Here we go. Every fucking time. There. Hello, everybody. Cake Zombie Plus here. This isn't a lore video where it's not connected to Lizards and Scissors or Broken Dreams or anything. I just wanted to make this video to talk about the last couple months, because I feel like I do talk to you guys about plans for the future, but I never really talk about anything in my past or who I am or what's going on. And about 2 months ago, we just hit 50 subscribers, and I was thinking of this big ass video full of all of the characters I made over the years, talking about it and like having like self-meta conversations with me, like congratulating me for making me this far. And I was gonna do this big edit thing, but I thought about it, and I don't think I really want to do that anymore, because that video is very me. Like me talking to myself in a room. That's classic Cake Zombie Plus content right there. I just wanted to make just a video where it's just me and you, like it's always been, and just talk about my life a little bit. And if you don't want to hear about my life, just click off the video. You don't have to be here, right? You clearly have other things you want to watch besides my dumbass talk for probably like 15 minutes, considering how much little space I have on my phone now. It's cool blue, by the way. Finally got Gatorade back in this house. So let's talk, just for a little bit, just for a tiny bit. So where do I begin? All right. Also, if you hear like music in the back, like when I'm go dead silent for a moment and you hear like music, that's my brother playing harmonica in the basement. He underestimates how loud it can get. Maybe just these walls are made of paper mache. I don't know. Okay, so this all started when I finally finished Broken Dreams and I released that epilogue. All right, that epilogue was released, and I was sat here wondering what to do next. Kind of, because I kind of already had plans on what to do next. I remember I released a few updates videos talking about my version of Inscryption that was in real life. This. Yeah. I talked about it. I told you I had big plans for it, but I don't think I really went into depth on why I wanted to do that. Ever. Or maybe I did, I just don't remember it. So allow me to explain why. If you're wondering, I'm like looking off to the left here, it's because I'm filming with my phone screen facing towards me, and I want to keep looking at myself instead of the camera, so sorry about that. So okay, let's start from the very beginning. The very beginning. All the way back, like a couple years ago, when Inscryption first released, and I watched Markiplier play it. Yep, that's right. This entire time, I didn't play Inscryption until I bought the game myself after watching Markiplier play it. But here's the thing. I didn't watch Markiplier's full playthrough. I only watched him play Act 1 and then immediately stopped, because I was so enticed by Inscryption and how cool it freaking was, I just ceased all spoilers for the game and made it my life's dedication to get Inscryption on my laptop. And as soon as I got enough money, and as soon as I figured out how Steam worked, and as soon as I got it, that was the very first game I got on Steam. Besides Team Fortress 2, but I'm not going to talk about that. And after that, I just played Inscryption. I played through all of Act 2, Act 3, the finale. I replayed it 5 million times. I basically beat Casey's mod. I got bored, started downloading mods for the game like a year later. It was fun. And just like every single artist that ever plays Inscryption, the first thought they think is, man, I really want to make that in real life. Like, this game would be so fun to make in real life and play with other people. And you would think that. But it's really not. Here, let me explain. So, let's go all the way back to whenever the fuck I made this shit. It's 2025 now, so fuck, like 4.5 years. Am I right about that? Probably. 4.5 years ago, when I first made my version of Inscryption IRL, I tested out the mechanics by myself with myself, because that's all I had back then, and they were working fine. Like, I was like sacrificing the squirrels, putting down the stoat, then I could sacrifice the squirrel and the stoat for the wolf. I was so enticed by it. Like, I was in the middle of class. Yes, I was still in school at this point. It wasn't like actual high school. It was like a transition program. I'm not going to go into it. But anyway, I was sitting there at my desk, like, putting cards and taking cards. I'm like, dude, this is so going to work. So I took like a month of my time to just draw a bunch of cards, make a bunch of like stuff. I made the paper scale. Here, I'll show you. Now, fuck, whatever. I made like a paper scale, like condensed for space. I made the campfire area. I put all this stuff in there. Made one map. I basically just copied the tutorial map from Act 1 into real life. I just copied bar for bar everything. I put it into a little orange folder, which I'm sure you saw at the front end of that binder, the original binder. And I wanted to play test with somebody. And my dad, living in an apartment at this time, probably still is when this video probably comes out. He's probably going to be gone. More on that later. He was my first playtester. He was the first person to play my version of Inscryption IRL. And the feeling of being in that dark room, like I turned off all the lights and made sure that the only light in the room was the lamp above us. The feeling of explaining the game to him and him barely understanding it, but just having a nice of a semblance to actually know what to do and how things work with cost and whatever. The feeling of playing Death Card Cabin on his Bluetooth speaker, when I say a single path open, what was it? When I said you were lost deep in the forest and a single path reveals itself, as I lay out that map and I play Death Card Cabin, that doom just echoing throughout the room. And hearing that melody play as we were playing Inscryption in the dark, that was the greatest high I have ever gotten from playing any board game ever. And to be honest with you, I wanted to chase that high. That feeling, that absolute feeling, that something that I made actually got me some satisfaction at any point. I was so enthralled. I wanted more of that. So I kept making more. I expanded the game. I made the tutorial map, then map 2, then map 3, then the 4th map. I made a couple characters. I'm sure you've seen them, the Gekologist. I did a bunch of lore, and I kept going back to my dad's apartment, and we kept playing Inscryption and more and more and more of it. And by this point, I had this big-ass game that I was playing not only with my dad, but also with my friends and relatives, and they were loving it, and they were also loving it. I wanted to turn this game into something that not only I could love, but everybody could love. I wanted to bring that version of my Inscryption to this, to my channel, to YouTube, to the internet. I wanted everyone to see it. I wanted everyone to experience the same thing I felt that night in that dark room with that little lamp. I wanted everyone to feel that. Until I annoyingly found out that somebody else was already doing it. It took me a while to find it. I just looked up Inscryption IRL, looked up, oh wow, people are like printing out the cards, that's cool. So I started digging more into that, and I found a little community called Inscryption IRL. Yeah, it's an actual community, it's a Discord server. I joined it, I talked to people there, I started talking about my game. Like, okay, why is it, this is pretty cool. It's an entire community dedicated to people making Inscryption IRL. I've seen fan cards and custom printed cards, like the good silky stuff. I started doing a little bit of research on how this community started. And it started from one dude that calls himself Leshy IRL, very fitting, of him streaming his version of Inscryption IRL to thousands of people. And that kind of knocked me down a few pegs, because this brilliant idea that I had, someone was already doing, but it immediately went away after I realized that that was bound to happen. Like, there was no way that with all these people making Inscryption IRL, not one person was going to try to stream it and let other people play it. Like, that was blatantly obvious. Like, there was no way that wasn't going to happen. And I was also very disappointed to hear that good old Leshy IRL wasn't doing that anymore. Like, he just stopped streaming Inscryption IRL. And it wasn't because he, like, didn't care about the game anymore. He just got caught up with life. I mean, he got married. Motherfucker got married. He has a wonderful fiance. At least she seems nice. And I don't know, he just seems really content with his life. And if he doesn't want to stream Inscryption IRL anymore, I completely understand the guy. Like, he is definitely in the right place in mind. And I wish the best for him, honestly. But then I got this itch. Just this tiny itch. Like this itch in the back of my neck. Just a tiny one. Just a little zap in the back of my neck. That, I don't know. It's just a little itch. And it continued for a month. I was still working on Inscryption. I was basically almost finished with Broken Dreams, the documentary. Like, we are that far back, everybody. We are that far back. And I just kept feeling this itch. Just a tiny itch. But I ignored it and kept making Broken Dreams. And then we got to episode 5 with the three-parter episode 5. And this itch was now coating the back of my neck. I was scratching at this itch. It was larger than it ever was before. And I kept scratching, and I kept itching, and I kept pulling out my hair, and I kept ripping off flesh, until finally, Broken Dreams, episode 3, done. But the itch never went away. I thought me finishing Broken Dreams was that itch. But no, after I finished Broken Dreams, it kept itching. So I kept scratching, trying to figure out why I wasn't feeling satisfied with my work. And then it dawned on me. And then the itch finally stopped. There doesn't need to be only one Leshy IRL. With him gone, what's stopping me from taking his place? So, I pulled up Discord, clicked on the little plus sign, and decided to make a brand new server. An entirely new server. Dedicated to Inscryption IRL, but my version of the game. And I was about to make a whole server that everyone can join, until I noticed something out of the corner of my eye. I had opened up my Inscriptions tab, and all of the little channels appeared, and I noticed something. There was a Inscryption server that I didn't remember joining. I'm like, okay, well, it's just another one I can leave. I clicked on it, and so the first tagline, Inscryption 2. And then I realized something. This was my server. I made this server. Because there's something I completely forgotten about that just went unnoticed in my mind. There was an old Inscryption project I started, like, right when I was making the IRL stuff. Like, at that point, I was brainstorming IRL Inscryption ideas. And I thought, what if I made, like, a big-ass island, and it had, like, a ton of scribes on it. And there was one dude that was in control of all of the scribes. And you, as the challenger, need to defeat all of the scribes on the island and do their own separate little campaigns. And when you do that, you get a key, you go to the guy's gate, you unlock the gate, you go up the mountain, you find the bad guy, you defeat him, and you yourself... Well, actually, I didn't really think of a reward past that point. But the point is, there was an entire community of people right here. And judging by me looking at the server and realizing there was surprisingly still people here asking about me, I thought to myself, how can I use this information to destroy my enemies? So I did what any normal person would do, and I just took the Inscryption 2 tagline, I ripped it off, and gave it a new name. Inscryption IRL, Lizards and Scissors. And that leads up to today. I have Act 1 finished, Act 2 finished, still working on Act 3, and haven't even started Act 4. And even after all this time of drawing cards and asking people if they want to play games and filming videos and making ARGs and putting in little codes here and there, after all this time, I still have this itch. Just this tiny itch. This little itty bitty itch on the back of my neck. And I kind of don't want to solve the itch this time, because I feel that after this is all done, I might not do anything ever again after this, because I've been on YouTube for a long time, making videos, making characters, doing storylines. And I know I say I don't do this all for views or money or subscribers, and I don't. I still don't. To this very day, I still don't. I'm tired, I can only do so much. I don't know if this is going to be permanent. I don't know if I'm going to come back like a year later and say, guys, I know I said I wanted to retire, but I lied. We're still going down this train. And honestly, you can tell me that in the comments. I fully deserve it. It's been fun. It really has been fun, but until I think of the next coolest idea to do, I'm cooked. I'm genuinely cooked. But until I think of the next coolest idea that can change the world, this is all you're gonna get. Oh, my camera's about to run out of memory. Well, thanks for listening. Genuinely. Even if nobody is listening. People don't normally watch my update videos anyway. But for those that are still here, this has been the Keg Zombie Plus. Thanks for watching. And I'll be seeing you all again in the next video. Peace.